Nice. Okay. It's Thursday, October 12th. Plan for today. I'm going to water my abstract. That's right. Starting today with this guy. He's been sitting there, he's been calling at me, and I cannot ignore his cries any longer. My plan is basically, I'm going to start, I think, and I don't know why I hadn't thought of this before, but I'm going to start like using the leftover like big clumps of paint or big mixtures of paint that I have to start layering up on these, just what's left over from the previous projects. Because I always end up mixing like way more of like the background color than I need. And they're like really nice colors, and sometimes they just end up freaking going to waste, which is sad. So I'm going to start layering those colors up on the abstract. I really only have one today, so it might just be a short little layer up, but I'm going to start with that, and then I'm going to get into today's piece that I'm going to get done. So that's pretty much it, man. Pretty straightforward. Let's get to it. So working on the abstract today, man. It's really hard to pinpoint what these are about, but the best I can say at this point is that they're about color and line. The way that I'm achieving color is through spray, layers of spray, as you can see, and the way that I'm achieving line is using masking tape. And so it's just very much of an implied line. There's nothing actually linear on there, or no mark. And for me, I don't know why that's exciting. It just seems almost like a distillation of everything that I've done in the past, thinking about like the blurry paintings, the sensitive content stuff. It just kind of seems like, obviously an abstracted version of it, but more importantly, like a bit of like a distillation. And so this was just, one layer, and I just used some of the colors that I had left over from another painting, as well as some, I think it was called Mars Orange by Williamsburg. So it was just a very quick layer up, but over time it really adds up, and it's starting to take shape a little bit, I think. But now getting back to business, getting to the today's painting. So this is going to be, we did another one a couple of days ago where we introduced an actual cat into the picture, instead of just a shadow. And this is kind of taking it a little bit further. Again, I'm starting with the background this time, as opposed to not starting with the background. And this is just, again, like it's just kind of giving me a little bit more context to work with, and also because it's, for me, the most tedious part of the whole painting, doing the background. It's the part that, like, with something like this especially, just, it takes time, and, it's just kind of like, I don't know, it's not the funnest thing for me. So I get that done first, and then I have, a good bit of context to build on top of. Just picking a pattern again and working in, one fluid kind of linear section at a time. And, I didn't have the palette cam on there again because I forgot the little stand at home, and that's kind of one of the things that I'm realizing about kind of transporting this stuff back and forth for editing stuff, is that I keep forgetting little things here and there, so I have to make myself a bit of a checklist. And here I'm using my improvised little maul stick that I did last time, and it's actually a really good one. I think the kind of long tube works really well because I'm standing and stuff like that, and the thicker kind of radius of the tube is a really nice resting place for the hand. I mixed, I think it was maybe 3 or 4 values for this, and then once I do that, I kind of make little satellite colors. I'll go into one of the mixtures and flesh it out a different way, add some red, add some blue if I need to cool it down or warm it up. But this one was fun. So the cat itself is, I used Photoshop's AI thing and generated the cat. And it came out really good, man. I really enjoyed the way I really enjoyed the way that Photoshop generated it. Did a really good job. It's just getting really exciting, just those little features and stuff. And here we go, starting on the cat. Starting from my darks and then working up to the lighter colors. He was kind of like not really super, there wasn't like a whole lot of facial expression, so I tried to stay true to that while still, putting him in there. I think that there's something about like not being too exact with it that creates enough distance for the viewer to kind of be comfortable with what's going on, instead of, making it too realistic and feeling like this thing is like really occurring, I think there's something about stylization that makes a proper good amount of distance and just allows the viewer to kind of not have the full sort of high res idea of what's happening. It's just kind of more of like an implication, which I think is very effective for stuff like this, especially when you're dealing with this kind of subject matter and, people can rightfully get really butthurt about, you're gonna hit a cat or whatever, animal cruelty, which is not the point, And then the shadow this time was really interesting because there's no harsh, no hard shadow on this one. So it was more like I had to just kind of add these little more subtle shadows. And so it was kind of like a nice change of pace with this one. And a really good way to end the day after my abstract. Let's check out the B-roll. Let's check out the final painting. It's not really B-roll. I got that from Alpe. He talks about B-roll. He's a B-roll king. But came out really good. I'm very, very, very pleased with this one. Well, hell yeah, dudes. A great, good full day of painting today. We got to start with an abstract. We got to layer up on it. And then we moved over to the other piece. And what's really cool is you can, you get an idea for like the amount of painting you can get done in a day. Obviously, I have the luxury of being able to dedicate myself to it full time. But even then, just isolating kind of one of these things is something that most anybody can probably, either fit into a day or section it up in chunks, And so, although I do know that I'm very fortunate in getting to spend time with it, I do. I think that it's the amount that I'm painting is attainable by, most all people. And I see a lot of people that, they hold down a freaking job and they get all that painting done, man. Like, I mean, the people that I'm constantly talking about, Kellen and Dakota and Logan, like, all those motherfuckers are just doing such a good job with, holding down a job and also getting a lot of art done. And so it's really inspiring to me and makes me feel like, man, you got all day to do this and you're dedicating your whole fucking life to it. You need to get busy, dude. You need to, like, not slack. So yeah, with that, man, I'll leave you guys to it, and I'll see you tomorrow. We've got one more day of the week. We've got Friday, and then Saturday, maybe get into some plein air or something again. So see ya, bros.